We usually take time to CAD our projects because we need a high level of precision and accuracy. Rhino helps us do so by offering a number of tools that assist us while we draw. Let's go over some while I also explain some best practices. Most projects will have many elements that are orthographically oriented. The ortho tool in the bottom center of the screen locks any line drawn perfectly vertical or horizontal. Click ortho to activate the tool. Notice how the line snaps to position while the tool is on versus when it is off. Pressing and holding the Shift key allows you to temporarily deactivate the tool. You may also temporarily activate ortho by doing the same if the tool is not toggled on. Near the ortho tool are the osnaps. These tools are vital for drawing accurately and efficiently. It would be nearly impossible to draw with any kind of precision without them. osnaps allows users to quickly and automatically lock onto a specific reference point. Activate osnaps by clicking the tool near the bottom center of the screen. Then select which reference points you would like to snap to. I recommend always leaving on end, point, mid, and perp. You may toggle these reference points on or off at any point while you are drawing, depending on your specific needs. To use osnaps, simply hover near the specific reference point. When close enough, Rhino will automatically lock onto that point. Notice how the name of the osnap displays when it properly connects. Locking to a particular reference point is incredibly useful for many scenarios. Users can define a vector to move along by defining the two endpoints, then hitting Tab. In this example, ortho is turned on, which already defines the vector that I want to move along. However, if I try to reference my first line, the osnap tool will cause the points to automatically connect. To reference the first line, begin drawing your vector, then hit Tab. Your vector should turn white, indicating that you are now locked in. You may now reference any point perpendicular to that vector. This usually comes in handy when trying to draw or move an element along a curve that is not drawn orthographically. While drawing in CAD, there is little to no excuse for not drawing with absolute accuracy and precision. We will return to some of the curve commands to illustrate how to do so. Let's draw a rectangle using the rectangle command by typing that into the command line. The input prompt now asks me for a starting point, which I can select freely. The next prompt now asks for other corner or length. Here, it is best to provide Rhino with a precise measurement. Typically, while designing, it is best to define dimensions in 1/8 inch increments, i.e. 0, 1/8, 1/4, 3/8, 1/2, 5/8, 3/4, 7/8, and 1. To make a precise rectangle that is 8 inches by 4 inches, I will follow the input prompt asking for the length by inputting 8, then hitting enter. The next input prompt asks for its width, which I will enter as 4. The rectangle on screen should now be perfectly dimensioned. You may check the accuracy by using the distance command, then snapping to the endpoints of each side. Every curve command in Rhino provides this level of accuracy. When given the opportunity, be sure to always enter a precise measurement. Note that while entering lengths, number values will be based on the pre-selected units template. Users may actually enter any value with its appropriate suffix, such as feet or centimeters, and Rhino will automatically convert it. However, this may lead to occasional rounding errors, so it is best to avoid it whenever possible. Much like everything else, there are multiple ways of selecting objects in Rhino. Some will be more useful than others depending on your current situation, but you will likely need to utilize every means at some point. To select a single object, simply left-click on it. The selected object will then be highlighted in yellow. If there are multiple objects overlapping near one another, a selection menu will pop up. Scroll through the list and click on the particular object you are trying to select. As you scroll, the corresponding object will be highlighted. To select multiple objects, hold Shift, then left-click the desired element. To deselect an object, press and hold Ctrl while clicking on the objects you would like to remove. To quickly clear all selections, either press Escape or click on an empty part of the drawing space. Holding down the left mouse button creates a selection window. While doing so and moving from right to left, the selection window will select everything that is in it and touching it. Moving from left to right will create a selection window that will only select objects that are completely enclosed within its boundary. After selecting an element, the Objects Property window on the right side of the screen will display several parameters assigned to it. For now, we will only focus on the layers portion. Using layers is an absolute must for keeping organized and accelerating your CADing efficiency. To change layers, navigate to the drop-down menu in the Objects Property window, then select the layer that you would like to change the selected object to. You can see and change the active layer by clicking on the Layers tab. The active layer is indicated by the small check mark. Change the active layer by double-clicking on another. Any newly drawn curve will be automatically assigned to the current active layer. Notice how the corresponding objects are signified by their respective colors. From this window, you may also quickly hide all objects in a layer by clicking the light bulb next to its name. You can also prevent them from being accidentally manipulated by locking them in place. To do so, click on the lock. You may also select everything in that layer by right-clicking the name, then clicking Select Objects. While drawing in 2D, you may pan your view by holding down the right mouse button. To zoom in and out, scroll up and down on your scroll wheel. Once in a while, you may actually lose your drawing when zooming in and out too quickly. A useful tool to help reorient yourself is Zoom, followed by the secondary command Extents. As your drawing develops, you will need to manipulate the curves using several additional commands. A link to a list of common useful ones is provided in the description box below. Although I will only demonstrate the trim command, the process for using all commands remains equivalent, which is simply to enter the command, then follow the input prompts as directed. To trim a curve, enter the command in the command line. Following the input prompt, select a cutting object. Press enter when done. Then select an object to trim. Finish by pressing enter when done. Be sure to explore the other common commands provided below. Get comfortable with how each one works by carefully following their input prompts. Mastery of these few basic tools will actually go a very long way. Please take some time to practice using the many drawing tools that we have just covered. While doing so, try to see the value that each one provides, as well as how and when they will be the most useful as you can. Every tool has a purpose. Some will be helpful at some times and not so much in others. It is important to recognize when those situations arise and adapt accordingly. The process for using these commands are fairly universal. The sooner you get comfortable with it, the faster you will progress. Remember that learning takes time, practice, and patience.